Hello my darlings, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Fashion Mumblr Finishing School. This is something that I have wanted to do on my channel as a little series for quite some time now. Maybe I have been watching too much Downton Abbey and too much The Crown, but with the amount of time that we spend socialising online and, let's be honest, our lack of socialising throughout the past year, I thought that now would be a really great time to do a little refresher on those etiquette guidelines. When it comes down to it, etiquette really is just respect. It's how you treat others, represents yourself, represents your character. So I'm going to be sharing some daily etiquette rules to go about your day with kindness and respect and show sophisticated and refined behaviour. The tips that I'm going to be sharing in today's video are all really simple and easy to follow. They're very high level etiquette tips. Most of these things you probably already know, already do. They're things that our parents taught us, but maybe we could just do with a little bit of a refresher. I feel like this has the potential to become a little bit of a mini series here on my channel, so I'd love to know if this is something that you would be interested in hearing more about. I'd love to go into more depth in certain topics, in particular, for example, dining etiquette, travel etiquette. Those are just some examples, but I have already done a couple of videos along these sort of lines, so I will start a Fashion Mumblr Finishing School playlist down below. And while this series is in its infancy, I'll leave a few similar videos that I've done in the past linked down below, such as my video How to Be Elegant and Graceful in 10 Easy Steps. I also have a bit of a tongue-in-cheek video, 12 Subtle Ways to Appear More Wealthy. I will leave fun videos like that in a playlist linked down below in case you would like to see any other videos along these lines, but I do plan on doing a few more within this kind of etiquette series, so please let me know down below if that's something that you'd like to see. And darlings, if you are new to my channel and this sounds like something that you would like, then please do subscribe. I mostly do fashion videos as well as daily vlogs, and it would mean the world to me if you hit that little red subscribe button down below. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious one, and it is using words such as please, thank you, and you're welcome. This is not just in real life, but online as well. This is the first way that you show others kindness and respect. So of course, if you are asking for something, then you use the word please. May I have the jam, please? If someone gives you something in return, you say thank you. Oh, thank you, Mary, for passing the jam. And you're welcome is the typical response after someone says thank you. Thank you for passing the jam, Mary. You're welcome, Josie. It's a really good idea to practice these basic manners throughout everyday life, whether you're ordering your oat milk latte at Starbucks or you're ordering an Assam English breakfast tea at the Ritz. Basic manners like this never gets old. The second basic etiquette rule to follow every single day is another really simple one, and it's just greeting people. Whether you are walking down the road saying hello, good morning to a passerby, you're out on a dog walk, you're at the supermarket. People these days are so often on their phone or listening to music, but just by smiling and greeting someone, it is the easiest way to show kindness even to strangers. People just love to feel acknowledged. Just by saying good morning to someone with a cheery smile is an instant way to make someone feel acknowledged, feel a little bit better about themselves. And I have to say, this is something that Charlie is really good at. Even if we're just on a dog walk, he'll say a really cheery good morning to someone in the village, and then they'll leap into a full-blown conversation as though they've known each other for years. I have to say that has been really useful for getting to know new people as we move into a new village. So according to Debrett's, which is basically a British professional authority on etiquette and behaviour, there is actually a proper way of greeting someone. Now, I don't know about you, but naturally when I greet someone, I say, hello, nice to meet you. That is what feels natural to me. But apparently, according to Debrett's, that is not the correct etiquette to meet someone, because quite frankly, if you've just met someone, how do you know if it's nice to meet them or not? They could be a really horrible person. So actually, the correct etiquette for when you do greet someone for the first time is hello, how do you do? how do you do? I mean, it sounds so smart, it sounds a little bit old-fashioned, but that is the correct etiquette on how to greet someone the very first time you meet them. Number 4 is another really easy example of kindness, and it's just to say bless you when people sneeze. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a public space and I sneeze and no one says bless you, I'm like, come on, show someone a little bit of kindness. And then of course, if you do sneeze and someone says bless you, the correct etiquette would then to say thank you to the person that said bless you. I told you some of these tips are really, really basic. Number 5 is one which for me I feel is so basic, but it really surprises me how often I see people not doing this, and honestly, it really annoys me. Number 5 is to hold the door open for people. Even if the person behind you is a few moments away, even if they don't have their hands full, it is always the nicest thing to do to hold the door open for someone. Again, it all comes down to kindness and respect, and holding the door open for someone is just one of those little things. I will teach my children to do this as soon as they're old enough and have the strength to open a door. That's something that I will teach them, boys and girls alike. No matter how young you are, it is always the most polite thing to do to hold the door open for someone. This might cause a little bit of controversy in the comment section. Feel free to sound off on your opinion, but if I was dating a guy and he didn't hold the door open for someone, that would be such a huge turn off for me, just because it shows a lack of respect for other people around you. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below, and I'd love to know your thoughts overall on these etiquette rules, whether you think they're old-fashioned, whether you think it's important that we keep these traditions alive. Personally, as I said, I really do think it's important. We've lost so many of these basic polite skills through having most of our socialization online, and of course just not socializing this year. So I think it's really important that we just have these in our minds. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Number 6 is quite a hard one, and it is to give people grace. Now, what I mean by that is if someone barges past you in the supermarket, first of all, at the moment, social distancing, I really hope that wouldn't happen, but maybe it's when you're driving, if someone cuts in front of you. Giving someone grace is being kind and being respectful and not suddenly getting really angry, not suddenly shouting at people. The best thing to do is take a deep breath, remain calm, and be kind no matter how people treat you. Being vindictive and full of anger is the opposite of being a kind person, and also always carrying the burden of anger and frustration. It's just not a very nice way to live, so definitely a great one to practice in our everyday lives. Number 7 is an example of at-home etiquette, so something we can all put into practice now, and it's another really simple one: not shouting at people from other rooms in the house. If you have guests, this can make your guests feel really uncomfortable, and it's just not a good habit to find yourself getting into. Personally, if anyone in my house shouts at me from another room, I just pretend to not hear them. I just completely ignore them to try and get people out of the habit of shouting from room to room. My final 3 tips are all to do with how we interact with other people, how to be a little bit more charming within your conversations, within your interactions with other people. Hopefully, if you put these little tips into practice, it can make the people that you're in conversation with feel a little bit more confident, and make you feel more confident in the process as well. So this is really all about putting the person that you're in conversation with at ease. Let them feel good, let them feel confident about the interaction that you're having with them. There are so many distractions in the world right now, whether it's the things that are just ticking over in the back of our minds. Maybe you're having a conversation with them, but secretly you're thinking about what time you need to start cooking dinner or what emails you need to respond to. It is so rare, and in fact, I bet so many of you watching this are not giving this video your full attention. You might be taking your makeup off, you might be doing the ironing. The point is, having someone's full attention this day and age is so rare, so it feels so good when you have someone's sole attention attention. And one of the best ways that you can do that is by being genuinely interested in what the person that you are talking to is saying. So there are a few things that you can do to really put this into action. Of course, making eye contact with the person that you're talking to. It is one of my pet peeves if I'm talking to someone and I'm really engaged, looking them in the eye, and yet their eyes are like darting around the room. They're maybe trying to distract themselves, or maybe they're, I don't know, trying to find someone more interesting in the room to talk to. How unengaging does that feel, and how rubbish does that make you as a person feel? When I'm in conversation with someone, I want them to feel good. I want them to feel really confident. It makes the whole conversation better for everyone. Other things you can do to make people feel good is physically lean in. Physically, with your body, lean into the conversation. I've said this in previous videos, but a conversation, you should aim to spend 80% of the conversation listening and just 20% of the conversation talking. Think about it this way: you are going to get so much more out of the conversation by listening. You can learn about people, you can learn about their experiences instead of talking. You know everything about yourself, so why not spend more time listening and learning during conversations? If I think about the most successful people that I know, they're actually quite quiet. They will often be the ones sat in the corner just listening to the conversation. So when you are next having either a face-to-face or online conversation with someone, ask them questions, and not just interview style, firing off loads of different questions, but ask questions and take interest in the answers. Giving someone not only your full attention, but also your interest. Think back, when was the last time you had a conversation with someone and they really not only gave you their full attention, but also their full interest? How great did that make you feel? Number 9, another one to do with social interactions, and it is remembering people's names. When you first meet someone, actually pay attention, really try to remember the person's name. Something that you could do, if it helps you to remember, is to ask them how to spell it. Obviously, this depends on the name. If it's something like, I don't know, Sophie, although I guess that could be PH or it could be an F, but asking someone how to spell their name is a really good way of remembering it. Sometimes what I like to do is remember either another person or a famous TV or film character with that name and try and think of some similarities, or you can just fit that person's name into the conversation as much as possible. And this is also something that you can do, which again will show kindness, show consideration, and allow the other person to enjoy the conversation a little bit more as well. People love to hear their own names, so try to fit their name into the conversation naturally. For example, oh my gosh, Sophie, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Or, oh, Helen, tell me again, how do you do that? This does take a little bit of practice, but trust me, it makes the other person feel really good if you fit their name into the conversation. And number 10, my final tip is when you are having a conversation with someone, to share a kind word. I like to do this at the beginning of the conversation. Immediately it makes people feel great. Ease into the conversation with charm by sharing a compliment. You could, for example, say something encouraging, say something motivational. Perhaps they are looking for a job or they are trying to achieve something. Try saying something a little bit motivational, or perhaps you could compliment them on something that they're wearing, something that they have accomplished lately, or it could even be something that they've said. For example, it could be, oh, Freddie, I found it really interesting when you said blah blah blah. If it's a girl my own age, often I will compliment something that they're wearing. It could even be something as small as their nail varnish, their fragrance, but of course it has to be genuine. It has to not feel forced in the slightest. At the moment, I find that when Charlie and I are going on our walks through the village, more often than not, if we're walking past someone's house and we see them in the garden, we'll compliment them on their rose bush trimming or something to do with their house. It really depends on the circumstance, but a kind word doesn't cost you anything and it can truly make someone's day. So darlings, those are my top 10 really high level basic etiquette tips that we can put into practice every single day. I hope you found this interesting. I hope that you are excited for more etiquette videos here on my channel. This is just a really top level introduction just to kind of gauge the interest, but as I said, I am planning on doing one specifically on dining etiquette. I would like to do one on modern etiquette, for example, social media, things like that. I'd love to do one when the time is right on travel. any other topics, please let me know. Of course, I do have a few videos already on dressing in the appropriate way, so I will start a little playlist down below. But yeah, I hope you found it useful. And darlings, that's all from me for today. Stay tuned. Tuesday and Thursday there will be some vlogs coming your way. But that's all from me for today, darlings. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.